So the bell rang 4 minutes into the hour at 8 o'clock. Willow and Skye Blue. Skye Blue, she needed the money. Oh!
Come on. Maybe she loved her husband. How about that one?
I gotta get my dice clay in there, bro.
Oh.
It's only a joke, okay? Just like Dice Clay, he's a comedian. He tells jokes for a living. Right?
Does Arc Raiders go first person or is it all third?
It is third person. It is fantastic. I'm addicted to it. I love it. Game of the year so far for me.
All right, I'm gonna check it. I'm watching gameplay.
There you go. So the bell rang 4 minutes into the hour. Skye Blue and Willow Nightingale started. Danielson noted that Willow's hair was up, and he said, when my wife's hair is up, I know I'm in for it, Danielson said.
Oh, God.
In what way? In what way, Dragon?
Bree mode.
Yeah, Bree mode. Yeah. Yeah. Beer mode. Like we talked about on TNT, it's beer mode. Anyway, Willow gave Blue a slingshot powerbomb into the side of the cage and then pounced into the cage. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but Skye Blue came up bleeding. I don't know if she bled hard way, but I'm assuming this was a blade job because the way that she was bleeding was absolutely ridiculous within the first 6 minutes of this match, which is what we went and talked about at the top here. We didn't need this type of visual so early in the match. You basically gave the reason for the match away in the first 6 minutes. Build up to it. Have it mean something when it actually happens. The fact that you got through, it's like you pounded fucking 4 shots of something when you just got to the bar to begin your night and you ruined the whole fucking night. What else is there for you to do? The whole reason you went out is to get a little fucking stunad. And you got drunk in the first 5 minutes as soon as you walked into the bar. Who does that? Maybe my parents do that. I don't know about you guys, but I don't do that. I pace myself over the night because I want to have a good time. 6 minutes. So Julia Hart came out next. She and Skye Blue, the Sisters of Sin, took over against Willow. They searched. By the way, I have to say this. Skye Blue came out with a kendo stick, and Willow came out with a trash can lid. Can we like stop with the weapons? Everybody's like a fucking anime character. They come out with their fucking wielding their weapons. Like the cage is the weapon, okay? And if you by chance find yourself on the outside, then you may go get a weapon. Why do we need to introduce weapons into the fucking match when you're coming down and making your entrance? I don't understand it. It's just one of those wrestling tropes that we talked about. It's awful. It looks cringy.
Anything you don't complain about?
Yes. The beautiful whiskey collection I have downstairs, and I sit downstairs and I just contemplate life. Yeah, you gotta come over, man. You'll be amazed about what I got down there. You know,
playing everything that happens in pro wrestling. I would say that if you have a no DQ match, you have to come out with no weapons during a regular match.
Jesse,
so
it
no
sucks.
DQ match,
it sucks.
If you come out in a no DQ match, why not bring weapons?
It sucks.
You didn't answer the question.
It sucks.
You didn't answer the question.
What question?
You have to come out with no weapons for a standard match. So if you have a no DQ match, why would you not take the advantage and bring out a weapon?
I'm not sure I understand you.
Deflect, but you're not answering the question.
Bro, the cage is the weapon. What do you want me to tell you? The cage is the weapon.
You can't carry the cage. You can carry a stick and then use the cage too.
Bro, they brought out weapons, and the thing that busted Skye Blue open was not the weapons. What do you want me to tell you?
We don't know how she got busted open.
She got busted open by going into the cage, which is the weapon.
Was it hard way or did she blade?
Who knows? The perception is she got busted open by the cage. If she bladed or not is a non-issue.
I remember when I used to sit there and say, like, if this is no DQ match, why are you not using weapons? Triple threat match, no one using weapons. It's no DQ. Why not?
One of those things we're never going to agree on. We're moving on. You guys know where I'm coming from.
I'm going to hit you with a fucking stick if we get into a fight. That's what I'm doing. Or we're going to get into a fight, but you're not allowed to use weapons. Okay, then I won't use weapons. Okay, we're gonna get into another fight. This time you can use weapons, but don't you bring any. Fuck you. I'm gonna hit you with a stick.
Jesse, they're walking into a weapon.
That's there too.
Yes. That's all you need.
All of it.
That's all you
of
need.
it.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Anyway. Yeah, that should be the new intro. Yeah. It sucks. Yeah. Actually, we may do that. We may do that. Julia came out, so her and Skye Blue were there against Willow. They searched for something in a turnbuckle, came up empty. I don't know what would be behind the turnbuckle, but apparently Excalibur mentioned that wrestlers earlier were able to scout the cage and they might have placed weapons within the cage. Maybe. Oh, so why did they come out with weapons then?
Maybe. I don't know why. Why would you hide them? You can just bring them out.
See, now they don't make any sense, right?
They make any fucking sense. No. Fuck you hiding them out there for?
So Harley Cameron came out and actually beats up Julia Hart and Blue as Willow recovered. We go into a commercial break. Tekla, Jesse. She's out there. Tekla. She looked good out there.
Looks damn good.
She whipped her opponents with her belt. She had this belt. It was a belt, belt that you wrap around your pants and you tighten your pants so they don't fall off. She had this wrapped around her boot. I was like, what is she going for? Is she going in her boot? She's going to take off her boot? No, she just pulls off a belt off of her boot, and then that's her weapon. See, that's creative. That's creative. It's not presented as a weapon. It's a part of her attire.
Yeah, she could use that in a regular wrestling match when the ref's not looking.
She could.
Can't bring out a garbage can lid when the ref's not looking. He's gonna see that shit. He's gonna see that.
Oh my god. Tekla's out there with the belt. Jamie Hayter came out next. She's got thumbtacks. She brought out a sack of tacks. Hayter slammed Tekla's face first right onto the tacks. So then out comes Megan Bayne. She's out there with Penelope Ford, who's got her arm in a sling. Megan Bayne comes out with a trash can lid. And we got Statlander out there. She comes out with a pool cue in her hand. So that's her weapon of choice. I guess she's a big pool player. I don't know. Do you play pool, Jesse?
I play. I know how to play. I am very mediocre at it at best. I am not going to say I'm like, I will kick your ass at pool. No, I know how to play. I know the rules. I know the mechanics. I'm mediocre. I'm not gonna murder anybody.
Oh, so you're not Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince, who's hustling Will Smith to safety over there, huh?
I'm not gonna break out Lucille. No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
That's not me.
Just making sure.
But I'm gonna pause for a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I wanna put a strike on everybody who came out to this fight in their wrestling attire. You're supposed to come out here in fucking jeans and a t-shirt. Cut off t-shirt with the sleeves cut off. Jean shorts will work just fine. Megan Bayne came out here in a full goddamn gear.
Oh, she didn't know. She didn't know any better, bro. She didn't know yet.
But we have to inform her. You come out in street clothes for these fights, bruh. Come on, what are we doing here? She wasn't the only one. Somebody else came out in full gear too.
Yeah, she looked out of place in there for sure with that. Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah.
Man, come on.
So Megan Bayne's out there. Willow is in this position where Stat got some offense, offered a handshake to Willow. Willow backed away. I guess that's the story that they're trying to tell in the match. Megan Bayne shoved Statlander. We've been telling that story for what, 2 years now?
Pretty much, yeah.
Bayne shoved Statlander into Willow. Statlander and Bayne have a stare down because they have a brief history in the Casino Gauntlet match. So out comes... we have Mercedes out next, and we have her ring boys standing outside in front of a table with all of her championship belts on the table. So Mercedes is in there, and the only reason I have to reiterate this. The only reason why Mercedes is in there is because she asked Tony Khan to be in there because this is the first Women's Blood and Guts, and if you expect Mercedes to not be a part of the first something in pro wrestling when it comes to women, you are sadly mistaken. So she wanted to be in there. I'm sure she used her creative influence, and by default, Tony Khan had to put Statlander in there because you can't have 6 on one side and then 5 on the other. So he put Stat in there to make Mercedes' inclusion somewhat make sense. But honestly, and I'm interested to hear your take, Jesse, I don't think Stat or Mercedes did anything that really kind of offset this match. They didn't really even need to be there, to be quite honest with you. The match would have been fine without their inclusion.
No, it did not. It's completely against Mercedes' character to even want to be in this match.
Yes.
I mean, she should have been massively forced to be in it for some reason that makes sense for her to be. She didn't need to be here. She's the fucking champion. If I'm Kris Statlander and I'm Mercedes, like, I'm the champion. I'm not participating in this bullshit. I got a title match coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna risk that. No. For what?
Mercedes was the only one who didn't bleed in this match.
There's no reason for her to be in it. If I'm Statlander, especially if I'm Kris Statlander with a history of knee injuries, I'm not. Why would you want to be? There is no reason for the champions, the two top women in the division, to be in this match. Let the other ones fight it out.
Yeah.
Hell, as a matter of fact, make it worth something. The winning team gets to participate in a match to see who's number one contender for a women's championship. Hell, how about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, she didn't belong there. She was also in her wrestling gear too. Mercedes.
Yeah. No. Get out of here with that shit. Do not come to a blood and guts match in your wrestling gear. No.
She wants to be in the match just to pad her own resume, but then she doesn't want to be in the match to do what the match calls for because she's got to land more movie roles in Hollywood. So she didn't want to really give us blood and guts Mercedes version. She wanted to give us blood and guts WWE version. So
they need to be there.
No. So she's out there. She gives Statlander a DDT on the TBS title. She left the cage and brought more of her belts into the ring. So she handed all of her team championship belts as weapons to use against the babyfaces here. So we get Mina coming out there. She's got a barbed wire baseball bat, which, I mean, if there was a weapon of choice out of all the weapons we've seen so far, she's obviously got the better taste in weapons.
There you go.
Yeah. So Shafir comes out after Mina, and this is about a half an hour in now. She dragged a bloody Statlander out of the ring, and this is commentary side, and she goes by the barricade and she pulls out a bed of railroad spikes. Statlander fought back. Shafir kicked Statlander onto the bed of railroad spikes. She flat backed onto them, winced, fans chanted, "Holy shit." Shafir took off her socks, threw them at Statlander, and then gave her a middle finger. And then we get Toni Storm as the final entrant. I thought Mercedes was going to be last, to be quite honest with you. Toni Storm came out last. She looked like a female Joker out there with her face paint. She had white face paint with this lipstick that was like very Joker-esque out there.
Yeah, it's fucking psycho. I don't know if I like it.
Psycho Toni. I don't like it. I don't like it. Toni Storm came out and bashed her opponents with wrapped fists. And she had her pearl necklace, and she was just going to town with punches with the pearls in her hand. The cage door closed, 32 minutes in, and we got the match officially beginning. Storm and Mina Shikara worked together. Then they hugged. Obviously, they are the favorites to win the Women's Tag Team Championships in the tournament. We don't know when those titles will be decided upon. Hopefully, Full Gear, I think, is the destination for that. Hayter powerbombed Skye Blue off the side of the cage onto a table, which did not break. Hayter then leapt onto Blue with an elbow drop, and they landed on the table from the long way. And obviously, they had to force the table to break. Mercedes gave Toni a moneymaker, or money maker. She gave a backstabber to Statlander. Harley then came in and was behind Mercedes, and she held up the puppet. She had the Mercedes doll on her hand, and Mercedes yanked it off her hand and threw it away. Fans booed. Harley then, underneath the puppet, had brass knuckles, which Mercedes didn't know, and then she ended up punching and KOing Mercedes down. She knocked her out. Julia and Tekla crawled through an opening in the cage and found their way outside. So Julia walked at ringside and approached the referee and demanded the key to the cage because the match has now officially begun, and they locked everybody inside with a padlock. Tekla speared the referee, and then they took the... Tekla, Jesse. Tekla.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she took the referee, speared him. Key was now in their possession, and Mercedes is out there. She threw Harley, Hayter, and Statlander out of the ring. Tekla speared them at ringside. Mercedes and Statlander climbed the cage, and at this point, Statlander put Mercedes on her shoulder, and she leapt onto a table with the belts on it and put Mercedes through the table. So that was basically it for both Statlander and Mercedes. Thanks for coming. Mercedes only wanted to be included, and she didn't really give a shit about anything else that happened in that match. So that's what theoretically eliminated her from the rest of the match. Toni Storm. She then picks up a mirror like you would find in your bedroom. She picks up a mirror and she puts it against Marina Shafir in the corner. She's about to do the hip attack in the corner. So Marina is holding this mirror up against her, and it looks fucking ridiculous. So I was hoping, and I was saying to myself, please move, or please throw the mirror away before she actually does the hip attack on you, because it would look ludicrous to just sit there and hold the fucking mirror when you can easily throw the mirror away. So she did that. She got up and she threw the mirror in Toni's face as she came charging for the hip attack, and the mirror broke all over the place. So that's 7 years of bad luck for AEW. We are what, on year 3 now? So 4 more years of bad luck for AEW. Yeah, that was a good spot. Holy shit by North Carolina here after that spot. Mina covered in blood herself. She is obviously worried about Toni Storm. So she bashed Megan Bayne with the barbed wire bat. She then put Bayne in a figure 4 leg lock with a aluminum bat wedged in there for extra measure. Marina comes in, and this was fucking slick. This was one of my favorite parts of the match, Jesse. Marina with the broken shards of glass from the mirror. She stomps on the glass and then stomps on Mina with shards of glass in her foot. Yeah, that was fucking great. I gotta admit, that was great.
That was great. I did not quite understand why she took her goddamn boots off and then got into a thumbtack glass-filled ring, though.
Well, I mean, I guess it adds to the lore of her being a badass. She's probably the most badass addition to the fucking Death Riders, to be quite honest with you.
I actually said that I felt that this match should have been a nice little showcase to get Marina over, because in an environment like this, it's not reliant on her wrestling ability, and they can showcase her as a badass in it.
You know, I wonder with her in a tag team with Megan Bayne, I wonder if this is a test to see how Marina does on TV in a tag team. I genuinely wonder if they plan on bringing in Shayna Baszler, you know, because she's free.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know, but I'm telling you, I want to see Marina do well. I'm actually enjoying her booking in the Death Riders. I'm just worried that putting her in a tag team with a pure wrestler like Megan Bayne is going to have her stand out to not look as good.
No. You know, I think if Shayna Baszler comes in with what Shayna did in NXT, if they allow her to be that Shayna Baszler, man, we could be in for something cool there. You know,
that would be nice. That would be extremely nice.
That was I love Shayna Baszler. That Shayna was so great, man. That's a very underrated NXT Women's Champion right there. A lot of people look at Asuka and Rhea and you know all the others, the 4 horsewomen. Shayna had a great reign down there.
She did.
So we'll see.
She really did.
So Bayne bashed Mina as Shafir held her, and the other heels held Toni Storm, and they made Toni watch Mina get blasted by the heels here, and then she ended up saving Mina from any more hurt, and she ended up surrendering, Jesse. So the heels, they basically tortured Mina and forced Toni Storm to surrender for the babyfaces. Mercedes, at this point, was still KO'd out ringside through the table with Kris Statlander. And Toni, at the end of this, tried to save Mina as the heels win. So Mercedes, Bayne, Hart, Blue, and Tekla with Shafir win in 47 minutes. The heels win blood and guts.
Bro, you know what I would have done with the women's blood and guts match? And maybe to an extent the men's. Just to make it mean more is kind of what we touched on earlier. Have the winning team get the ability to go into a match, like since I would have taken out Mercedes, taken out Stat, and maybe like a fatal 5-way or a gauntlet match. The winning team gets to compete somehow to become the #1 contender. And it gives them so much more of a reason to want to beat the shit out of each other, because they all want to be champion. Hell, you can even pick your champion. You can pick Mercedes or you can pick Kris Statlander.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It would have, I mean, and make it a yearly thing. So why is blood and guts happening? Because we get to determine the #1 contender for X pay-per-view or whatever it is. Every year going forward, the winner of the blood and guts get to participate in either a series of matches or a big match to determine a winner, and you have your number one contender right there. I mean, it gives the match so much more fucking purpose. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I would like for some continuity in that type of way too, but it's too difficult for both Tony Khan and Triple H to come up with anything creative nowadays. So I don't really expect that from them. But Marina looked good here. Marina and Megan Bayne will undoubtedly be in the semifinals against Toni Storm and Mina. So they kind of set that up here to have a little tension going into that semifinal match. It's not there yet. It's not official, but I'm assuming that's where we're going for the semifinals. And then on the other side, we got Skye Blue and Julia Hart against Harley Cameron and Willow. I don't know. That's a very unpredictable match. I could see Harley and Willow going to the finals against Tony and Mina, but that would be babyface versus babyface. If they want to put over Harley and Willow, I wouldn't have any problem with that, but I don't see that happening. I think Skye Blue and Julia will be in the finals against Toni Storm and Mina, and then Toni Storm and Mina will win the tag team championships. But you saw some minor tension there going into the tournament. I thought Mina stood out, Marina stood out in this. I thought Tekla looked good in there. I thought Skye Blue was a badass in there. Everybody, Willow always looks good. But other than that,
they all look great.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, Mercedes didn't need to be there. Stat didn't really add anything to it. Like I said before, those two did not need to be in this at all, and they were only in there for reasons. Jamie Hayter felt like a non-factor in there. Megan Bayne didn't really do anything in there. She always looks good, though. I enjoyed this more than the men, but everything that we said at the top, at the beginning of this show in the introduction, I still feel the same way. I'm not going to reiterate myself because if you guys want to go back, you go listen to that. There were problems with this. There was an over-reliance of blood and being on the outside and weapons and all this other stuff. And the way it was kind of molded together and pieced together and produced, you know, they go from 0 to 1,000 instead of just kind of building it and just having it level up, you know, one after another. And then, you know, it just ends up being a great match. It was a good match. And for a first ever women's blood and guts match, it's going to be something that looking back next year, looking back at this, you're going to see if they can top it. But how are they going to top it? More blood, more violence, more outside, more this, more that. So it's like, if they do it in moderation, it would open them up to being a little bit more creative to top themselves the following year, and the year after that, and the year after that. How the fuck are they going to top themselves next year?
Yeah, no, they make it hard on themselves every time they progress it, you know, especially if they plan on doing it every year. You know, but I really do hope someone looks into crowning a number one contender. I mean, not only that, it gives you booking. It gives you something to book towards in the coming weeks after a match like this. Like after a match like this, what's the fallout? Well, the fucking fallout is the winners now get to compete to see who's number one contender. So and now it gives those matches purpose and things like that. I mean, as opposed to, okay, Blood and Guts is over. Next week, it's just Dynamite now, and who cares what happened last week?
Yeah.
It gives matches purpose. So they really should make this for something and for something important. And for the love of fuck's sakes, not money. Not money.
Monopoly money?
No more money matches. No. Number one contender should be crowned in some form or another based on their blood and guts performance or the winning team or something like that. Whoever gets the pin. How about that? How about 5 women? 5 women win. The one who got the pin gets a bye. The other 4 compete in a fatal 4-way match. All right. The winner of that fatal 4-way match faces the one that got the pin. And now you got a couple of weeks of booking of important shows you can promote and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is something of interest. That's actually a pretty damn good idea. The 5 who won, whoever got the pin, bye. The other 4, fatal 4-way. They face each other. Number one contender, pick your champion. I just booked 3 or 4 weeks of important women's matches.
I don't know, man. You're asking a lot of Tony Khan, bro. You're asking a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
You mean to tell me you don't like fictional money matches, bro? You're over the money matches.
I'm over that shit. It's so stupid.
I don't know. We'll see.